All right, here we are. I'm joined here with Kevin Hylton.
Hello.
Thanks, man, for joining me. This is my good friend. We go back, way
Long
back,
time, yeah.
St. John's days. Damn, it was a good times.
Yeah.
Good times.
Different men back then.
But I didn't get to know you till what? Was it sophomore year?
Yeah.
Sophomore year.
Through Ryan, and then we all started hanging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great times, man. Great
Yeah.
times.
Got a couple in the books.
Thanks for taking the time to join me
No,
today.
thank you for having me.
We're here to talk about patience.
Patience, yeah.
Is the topic you chose. A really important topic, I think. It's a topic that I think a lot of people in our generation especially have been struggling to sort of deal with or achieve, I guess.
Yeah.
Just because the world we live in today, it's very hard to be patient. Especially like social media and especially in New York City too. Well, it's a very hectic city, very fast-paced environment. But I guess before we dive into patience, if you wouldn't mind just telling a little bit about yourself and where you are in your journey in life.
Okay, I am a 27-year-old black man currently working at a top staffing agency in the city, and my role is a Senior Billing Analyst. I reside in Brooklyn, and I also host a podcast called Cooling Out.
Yeah. So I've interviewed all three of the Coolin Out guys.
Yeah.
We'll have to do like a joint interview with everyone together.
Yeah, that's definitely put that in the books.
But tell me more about Kevin Hylton, the person. Like, tell me a little bit about you and what are your passions in life?
I just want to do just something that fulfills me, that just brings me happiness, just joy doing it, like we were talking earlier. That's what the pod is starting to do, but just in general, maybe my work life, I would like to have a little bit more, just do something more fulfilling. Just me as a person, just chill, quiet, unassuming. I just try not to complain about much. I just try to just stay low key. Just chip away at it, day at a time.
What do you think fulfills you?
Good energy, good conversation. The thought of people, I'm really intrigued with how creative people, how they go about different things and why they do different things. Like, why do you execute this way? Like, I like getting glimpses into people to see how their mind works. I just find it fascinating. And I just find it interesting. That's why I really gravitate to podcasts and stuff. Because you really have, like, genuine conversation with people. And you get an inner look at their little quirks and just the way they look and operate. Mm-hmm. And it's just, I guess, the study of people just fascinates me to a certain extent.
Yeah. So, what is your definition of patience?
I would say mine is, you just gotta have, whatever you're striving for, you gotta have the faith, the confidence, and the ability that you'll achieve it. But you also have to know that you're not entitled to anything, and you have to work. And great things take time, I would say. And you just have to know that. That's what's fascinating now with the age we live in, where you have access to everyone via their social media, whatever. Podcasts, everyone speaks now. You get everybody's story. And the common thing is how much time, like the legends, the greats, how long things take. Like people, I don't even know why they still do this, but everybody just assumes you wake up and you become how successful you are. But it's the hours nobody sees that you have to work for. And that just clicked with me recently. So that's why I thought this would be a good topic.
That's great.
Because I was not that person, no.
Can you speak to that a little bit? Like, the times when, or how did you become more patient?
Just because you just have moments where you're working towards things and you're achieving your goals and you're not even enjoying the fruits of your labor. It's just like, what's next? You get something, you discard it instantly. It's like, and you wanted it for so long. And I had to look myself in the mirror like, who are you? What are you becoming? Like, that's how monsters get created. Like, you just, everything you want, you're getting more money, you're earning more money than you have at any point in your life. You can assist your parents, you can assist your family members. Like, sure, you always want to do more, but I wasn't grateful for like any. It was just like, it's not enough, and I was just becoming a miserable person. Like, you always got to look at yourself in the mirror, and I didn't like who I was becoming or what I was seeing. And then I wasn't getting any happiness, and then I'm just going crazy, going out partying, and it's just, none of it's fulfilling. So I had to like really, really take a strong look and be like, who are you? And have that moment of self-reflection. So then I was like, all right, I'm just going to calm down a bit. And then I started a podcast. And then I found a great woman in my life. And then just slowly, that things just changed in my life when I changed my mentality. Like, granted, I'm far from perfect, but I'm so proud of the maturation process. Because these things you want, like I said, I was just not at all, I wasn't maximizing what I had. I want more, but I wasn't even like doing the most for what I had. I was like spending frivolously, like, because I wasn't focused. I was unfulfilled, wasn't focused, didn't really have any like drive. You work and then come home, but now I have passion.
So you're saying being impatient was actually had negative effects?
Yes, because your whole focus gets warped, and then I'm falling into, why don't I have this? I should have this. Because when you grow up and people tell you, oh, you're smart, you can do this, you can do that, you think like, okay, instantly, I should have this now. But it's like, I had to really, again, like, who are you? Why should you? Everyone's smart. How are you going to set yourself apart? You got to work for it. Especially, like, it's crazy to think, like, living in New York, I think, yeah, you're just going to get everything. That's just not how it works.
But like, working for it is just part of the process.
Yeah.
You can't get impatient about how long it takes. It's however long it takes, as long as you're doing it.
And you got to enjoy it. You got to really dive in and really embrace all aspects, I think. And it took a long time.
Do you consider yourself a patient person now? Or are there still moments where you're impatient?
Definitely still moments, but all around, I'm a more patient person. Like when we launched the podcast, I would look at the numbers every single day. Sorry, every single day, and I would just like be consumed by it. And then I started listening to this guy everybody knows him, Gary Vaynerchuk, and he just reinforced like things take time. And just, yeah, you just started up. Why? Who are you? No one. You live in here. No one knows who you are. You have to like get your name out. You got to put the work in.
Mm-hmm.
So that helped. In life, I just be more patient with people. I would say moments when I'm not patient, really, they gravitate back to the pod again. Because I'm really passionate about the podcast.
So the things you're passionate about.
That's when I lose because I don't really like depending on people if I don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
But the nature of the podcast, I do it with two of my best friends. Like, you have to, and you can't do it all by yourself.
Yeah.
And if like somebody says they're gonna do something, I expect like either you do it, at least like check in like why it's not, because we all depend on each other for things, and I don't want to like look like a monster or anything, but to say you're gonna do something, not do it, and then not updates, but that's what I get impatient about. Other aspects of life, I'm way more patient now because it's all a long road. I'm only 27. It's like you got to add up everything you've done and make the most of everything you got. Like, even monetarily, it was just like, you keep saying you want more money, and you keep saying you want money to help people, like your family and stuff, but because I was in such a bad place, you get the money, you're just blowing it. And then when people ask you for help, you help them, but then you're you're almost like just you're barely avoiding a negative because you're wasting your money doing, again, it's all about your outlook on life, if you get what I'm trying to say. So I was, yeah.
No, absolutely. I think going back to what you were saying about if you say something, do it. It's just all about just being a person of your word, right? I would think that you are that person, right? You're a person of your word, so you expect others to do the same. If you say something, you do it. And when others don't, it's a very unauthentic sort of trait of someone to not follow through with what they promise.
Yeah, and specifically because it's the pod that I really care about. Like, just behind the curtains to the listeners, last night I threw a party. I sent out many invites. People say they would come. Some people didn't come in and give me an update. I didn't feel, it's just like, all right, whatever. It's like, if you wish you could have been there, you couldn't. No update, that's fine. It's just about the pod specifically. Because, when you're really working and you're trying to grow something, you gotta be and you gotta be operating at 100. You gotta, again, maximize what you have. So, yeah.
What advice would you give to people who maybe have struggled with being patient and how to be more patient?
Just the cliches, but gratitude. Like, you gotta really sit down and note the things you just take for granted every day. Like, I had to just sit down and become more grateful for everything. Like, you got great friends, great family. Like, you hear all these abuses with family. Like, my core family is just nothing but love, and it's like, you got that. You can coexist in New York City. You can have your own place. You can still spend time with your friends and still save money. And it's just so much I was overlooking, and sometimes it just takes a while to click. Sometimes you just gotta twirl in that darkness, until it you hit rock bottom. It's like, this pattern's not working. Whatever you're doing, it's not working. And you gotta come out of that, and if you want to change. Because another thing is, I'm not a complainer really. Mm-hmm. And the bad thing is, nobody ever really knows when you're going through stuff, But I'm also well aware of what I need to do better. But you're not doing it, so that hurts as well, So it's just about, sorry, long-winded.
No.
I would say just, if you know better, do better. When you're doing bad. You feel it in your gut. If you know better, just do it. Don't go against your first intuition. Count the things you have in life. Really sit, and if you need to write a list. Really just everything you take for granted, you should know. Because that just helps with patience. And then, I would say, find somebody you admire. We all admire there's entrepreneurs, tastemakers, influence athletes. Really dive into their story, whoever it is. And I'm pretty sure one common thing is how long it took for them to get where they're at and how long they worked at their craft. So I would say, if you're willing to do that for whatever you want to work to, know you're on the right track. If you're not willing to, don't complain about it. It's a personal choice either way. And just know nothing's guaranteed. But just put your best foot forward. It's harder knowing this isn't happening because you're not trying. It's disappointing if it doesn't work out, but it's easier to stomach knowing that you gave it your all, you couldn't. But just put your best foot forward. Keep chugging along. Keep putting the work in. These things all add up. What it is it adds up to, you just gotta keep going with it.
To put so much weight on the results.
That too, yeah.
Yeah, it's just just put in the effort.
Yeah, embrace the struggle, yeah. You find out new things about yourself. You can find your weekend areas, but you're also strong in areas you might have not thought.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think there's so many people who don't put in the effort, right? But they have the thought. Yeah. They want to do something, but then they don't actually execute it. And that's the only difference between someone who makes it and does it. The people who make it actually go through and follow it.
Yeah.
And you said gratitude. I feel like that's something I really struggle with. Because I know the things I should be grateful for, but I'm not always grateful for them.
I mean, we had a great discussion. I think it was in January when we were talking about Let's Labor, trying to map out topics I could do. And you and I tread more the same on a scale of over emotional to no emotional. I would say we're between the neutral and the no in terms of outward. Like, I believe you said, I don't get butterflies often. I don't really feel like things that are really pat don't really hit me as often as they should.
Same, yeah.
And we talked about like just going about ways to correct that. And that's again what the pod does. We had a discussion off camera that filled me with a lot of hope and a lot of excitement at the possibilities of what that could be, and just success or nonsense, let's take it out of it, but you'd be doing something with your close friends and just the thought of it just raised my spirits in a way that's not really common. Like you put all these hours in at work, you know, it's like it's not the same drive, you know. You're working for another man's vision, you know? So it's like, but even that, to go back
what
to
is
patient,
that vision? What is, like, specifically, what is that man's vision?
to make money.
Is that even a vision?
Damn. Bored me up. No. Damn. Yeah. It's not.
But that's what a lot of people, including myself, we're stuck in that. That's not helping anybody. That's not a vision. It's using people to help you get rich.
Yeah.
And you found a way to do it.
Yeah, and it doesn't always sit right, because you know you got to play your part, because you also have to earn money. But it's not, it's not the most moral, well, that's the wrong word, but it's not the most, it doesn't feel all the way right, but you got to play the game. But that goes back to patience. Like, you play the game to an end. Like, this money you're getting, you can also use to invest into your creative endeavors and really maximize what you have, or just invest in general, you know. Because my relationship with money, just a side note, is I'm not one of those. I find it very important because it is important in life. Like, money makes, I don't need much. Like, good food, I can pay my bills, I'm good. But you need money to survive, especially in New York City. Your family members need stuff. You know, people aren't as successful as you in life. You know, and you still need to help them. You know, so that's just my relationship with money. Damn, I forgot.
It's alright. No, it was great. I think, it's funny. I think some of the happiest times of my life were when I was the most broke.
Yeah, I remember you said, it's so true.
And it's just because even though I was broke, I was everything was new. You know, it was like I just got my first $1,200 closet apartment in New York City. You know, it was, I could barely move in it, but I made it.
Yeah.
I'm doing this, and you know, I have to eat peanut butter and jelly every day for dinner, but I don't care because this is all exciting.
Yeah.
I feel like it's all new to me, and it's funny because right now there's so much I'm happy for. Like, the woman of my dreams. I love my apartment we just invested in. We're getting married. But there's so much weight that I put into my personal growth. Even though I'm initiated the steps, and I'm taking the steps to try to become a better person and grow, I still feel like I'm not doing enough. And I think part of that is because my job, which takes up so many hours of my day, is just bullshit.
Yeah.
And it sucks because there's two ways to look at it. One, you should not let any of your outside environment or anything outside affect you. Like I should be completely okay, fine, happy with it. And it doesn't matter what situation I'm in, I should be great. I believe that's the way it should be. For whatever reason, I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
Things that happen really affect me. You know, it takes a toll on me.
No, without question. Like, yeah, I subscribe to those same thoughts. You know, you read the books and everything. And yeah, you should be just you at your core, and yeah, outside influence shouldn't, but it's being how old we are, still like really growing and still striving for things, and being in New York City definitely doesn't help given like the atmosphere you laid out, just fast driven, you gotta work, you gotta grind. It helps in other ways, but in that specific instance, no. And but then it's just patience. You just gotta be patient with yourself. No, you can't fake it. You feel what you feel, you know. But over time, you'll learn, and you'll accept, and
It won't be like this forever.
it won't be. Yeah, that's the that's the funny part. Like you can be in a constant situation for so long, and then just like that, it's just done. And you think back, and it's just like, wow, that was a crazy period. And then there's always lessons in it, though. Like I think back when I used to be a lunatic. I used to be just go out crazy. I used to be, yeah, just no direction. And I think back, and it's just like, wow, I learned so much. And like when I hang with friends, I hear stories of how I used to act, and I'm glad I hear it, because I don't recognize that person. I'm just so much more focused. The things that used to appeal to me don't. And it just comes with time. It just comes with time. You know, I also had a miserable period at work, and it is draining. It is definitely draining to be around people, because I believe in energy, and just be around somebody that just has negative energy. That's for a good year or so, and then one day it was over, and I look back on it, and I'm grateful, because you gotta dig deep, and you gotta see what you have. Like people, it's trying those times, but then you grow from those. You see what you're made of. You can see what you can withstand, what you need to improve on. So I would say just look at the positives. Like the beautiful apartment you invested in.
Here.
It's possible. The wedding, the things you like. Like I saw your food list on Let's Labor. Food in New York costs money, you know. So that's what got me through. It's just that's when you gotta really dive into the positives in your life. That's when you gotta really, really hone into those. Like lean on your friends, lean on your fiance, lean on, you know, family you trust. It's just positive, because it's gonna be tough. You know, it's just ups and downs. That's just the flow. It's highs and lows, and
Okay. It's a continuous.
yeah. That's why you just gotta be. You should never get like overly, I guess, you know, overly either direction, you know.
What are you trying to improve in your life?
Oh, in my life right now, what's the word? Right now, the primary thing is stripping away. So all the things I think I need, just really cutting back on. I don't need this cup of coffee. Oh, this new restaurant comes out, the food looks good. Just really like stripping away what I think I need with only things that I actually need. So I'm really, really just trying to just cut back.
Like simplify.
Simplify my life, yes. That's the primary thing. Because I love food. I love trying new food. I love going to a fancy restaurant / bar, getting a fancy cocktail, but those things add up. It's like this money can go elsewhere. So I've started that. And that's really, I'm just trying to, I'm not where I want to be. Well, I'm way better than I was. And then that just motivates me to continue. But taking that money and just investing it further in like the pod, or things that matter to me.
helping those things grow.
Yeah.
I think that.
Definitely stripping away, yeah. Just finding out what I really need.
Yeah, there's wants and there's needs.
Yeah.
And focusing on the needs.
Yeah, every day can't be a treat.
Start seeing cooling out as a need rather than a want.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, what is the biggest risk you've taken in life, and did it pay off?
The biggest was starting a pod. It just talked about it for so long, and it was just like scared of like how it's gonna be received, and I'm glad I did it. It's really just starting because it just opened up a new layer to me. Mm-hmm. Like the level of consistency I showed to the pod, I had to re-examine other aspects of my life. It's like week in and week out, I make a commitment to do this thing, and I dive, and I pour a lot into it, time-wise, monetary, and it doesn't feel like, it feels good. None of it doesn't feel like work. So I think that's the biggest risk, because in doing my biggest risk, I think I found my passion, like something that really like livens my spirit, something that I could just do, and it doesn't feel like work, and it doesn't feel grueling. It doesn't feel like you get up at 6:30, you work a 10 and a half, 11-hour day, and then you go downtown to meet up with your friends for another hour and a half. You don't get home till like 9:30, and like, yeah, that's just what it has to be, and it just comes as a no-brainer. Like other things feel like work, it doesn't. So I think in that,
I love it. I'm glad you took that risk.
I am too.
People need to hear Cooling Out.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I am too, because if it was just work in the gym, that would be a dull, very, very dull life. So I am too. Because yeah, you just meet fascinating people, and you learn so much. Like there are a lot of people going through things, but people take risk every day. People follow their craft. People follow their passions every day. So you might be on the right track.
What would you say inspires you?
Just like my friend group, I get inspirations from different things. Like I listen to a bunch of podcasts, so obviously there's people like above, like just listening to certain stories, just like, wow, that's motivating, because you know what you're trying to do, you know the person you're trying to become. In the immediate circle though, my friend group, like, they're people that are really working hard, that are really grinding, that are really trying to build stuff, and it's admirable, and it's different. It's not, again, trying to maximize at work. It's like you even let's labor. You want to build out. You started this and you want to build it out. Like, just get inspirations from that. It's like, keep going with your own. Like sitting behind the desk isn't the end all, you know. Go for it. Try.
Yeah, that's all we can do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for the longest time, I cared so much about perfection. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to put anything out there until it was perfect. And I had to realize that, fuck, this is never going to be perfect. Mm-hmm. You know, I had to just get it out there. And I'm going to learn as I go and just do it. And that was the best decision I could have made, because I could have still been working on it and no one would have seen a thing. And I learned so much as I do it. I learn what I can improve. I'm becoming better.
Yeah.
You know, I'm getting responses from people, feedback. So it's constantly evolving. So yeah, I think execution and doing is so undervalued. I think people wait for the right moments to take action. It can be as simple as like approaching a girl. What are you waiting for, the light to be right, for the music to be right? Just go talk to her. I mean, there's gonna be a right moment. You just gotta go do it.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of us, I think, feel that way. And I'm sure there's so many people with great ideas that never get done, that the world never sees, because they're too afraid to put it out there and too afraid of failure. So we're trying to change that.
Yeah.
Inspire action, you know?
Yeah, do it.
That's what Cooling Out is.
Yes.
That's what labor is. and nothing's perfect, but we're learning as we go.
Yeah, and we're giving it our best.
Yeah.
That's all you could do. Give it your best shot.
So, last and final question I got to
Mhm.
wrap things up.
Mhm.
I ask everyone is what is your advice to people on how to live a more creative and meaningful life?
Follow your gut. Like when I think back about the pod, I always gravitated to podcasts. And now I do it and I realize it's, like the signs are there. Whatever you're creative or passionate about, just do it. Follow your gut and do it. That's it.
Simple.
Simple, yeah.
Just do it.
That's it.
Nike had it right.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
Thank you, man.
Thanks for coming through,
Glad we made this
sharing your
happen.
wisdom. Where can people follow you if they want to for Coolin Out or for your personal?
Personal on Instagram. If you want to just see me, just pictures with other people. K1250. Cooling Out Pod though is what I really want you to go follow. COOLINOUTPOD on Instagram, Twitter. You can find it on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, Stitcher, and Pippa now. But yeah, that's the primary one. Go
Alright.
listen to some creative and intellectual conversations.
Yeah, go listen to Coolin Out, and if you have a story to share, also reach out. They'll be more than happy to have a conversation with you guys. Same with labor, and yeah, just go do your thing.
Yeah, follow your gut.
All right.
You know.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.